How's everybody doing today? Let's make sure we good. Well, God bless everybody today. Oh man, it's just one of those days, y'all. One of those days, you know. Um, I had dogs before and stuff like that, and they, passed away and stuff. So this just bring back, some bad memories, you know. But it's also been good memories as well. There also been good memories as well. You understand what I'm saying? But after a while, these animals, these dogs, these pets, they not animals, y'all. After a while, they become family. After a while, they become family, y'all. Now, I was gonna step back from this joint for a minute and stuff like that, but I said, you know what? It starts from today. It starts from today. So, sometimes you got to take these things and use it and say, you know what, I've had enough. Let me be better. Let me do better. Let me want better. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, today wasn't a so good day. I made it good. I made it positive. I did my working out and stuff like that. But like I said, they become family after a while. You understand what I'm saying? These pets, these animals, these dogs, cats, they become family. They become family, y'all. And it's not so easy to say goodbye just like that. But like it's just sometimes I wonder why live if we live to die. Sometimes I wonder why live if we live to die. Sometimes life life have its funny ways. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why you must remain humble. You must remain you. You must do the right thing and stuff like that. I'm dealing with a lot. If you don't know, you probably be like, nah, because I'm not really the type to show weakness. I gotta stay strong for my loved ones, yeah. I gotta stay strong for my loved ones, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes, like, it's just a lot, you know, trying to get it right mentally and, the unwanted thoughts. So I just try to stay focused and I gotta use this to just better myself. There's no time for games no more. I have zero tolerance for bullshit. I don't got time for games. I'm trying to remain focused and do what I need to do. Trying to reach my goals, y'all. Trying to reach my goals, y'all. Sir Valentino, salute. God bless you. But I just make sure I kept the day positive. Even though I was down, I felt weak. I didn't feel like doing anything. I got up. God gave me the power to get up, and I said, you know what? Let me let me do what I need to do. Let me strive for greatness. Let me not give up. Let me not quit. Let me keep striving. You understand what I'm saying? Let me keep going. Let me keep moving forward. Let me use this and be like, you know what? It's tired of the games, tired of sometimes you gotta wake up and say, you know what? I want better for myself. Sometimes you wake up and you gotta say, I want better for myself. Yesterday's price is not today's price, y'all. You have to know your value as a person. Some people, they will push you to like crash out, um, lose your mind. They try to drive you crazy, y'all. This is people's jobs. Those are people's jobs, y'all. I noticed that. And when you don't give it the time of day, it's like more and more shit happens to try to affect you, to try to make you mad, to try to make you upset, to try to bring you down. But when you don't give it the power of day, the time of day, you become the enemy. You become the enemy for protecting your peace, for knowing how you want to be treated. I know how I want to be treated, yo. I deactivated my social media. I deactivated my social media. I'm done with the social media. Right now, it's about doing better for myself. It ain't nothing like some H2O, y'all. It ain't nothing like some H2O. But I had great memories with this dog, though. This was my cousin dog, y'all. We took him in after he passed away. That was my cousin dog. Rest in peace. My cousin on my own. You understand what I'm saying? The boy Braun. That was his dog. We ended up taking him in when um when the dog passed away. So when the dog passed away today, it was like um it made me feel like it reminded me of my cousin so much, and it reminded me the great memories I have with my cousin and the dog. You know, so today was a rough one, y'all. We had a rough start. I had a rough start, but I said I gotta get up. You know, you gotta get up. You can't give up. The time for me to heal has taken out time out of life, man. Life is short, man. Now that I'm starting to see it, man, I can't even play. I don't have time to play. There's no time for games, yo. Don't get me wrong. We could hee hee ha ha, but yo, tomorrow ain't even promised, beloved. So I'm trying to enjoy what I can now. Fuck is that? Fucking beat. I hope not invite me, man. See what I'm saying? Shit's crazy. It don't stop. Shit don't stop. Crazy. That's why I don't be get shaking people's hands, man. That's why I don't shake people's hands, man. Look at this. Come on, man. But at the end of the day, I do got great memories with the dog. You understand what I'm saying? But some right now, I don't really want to be around no animals right now. Right now, I don't really want to be around no animals. It hurts too much, you know. A lot of people, they just it's regular to them, but not me, man. This is they like family, man. They become family after a while, you know. Great memories. I remember my man Thunder, rest in peace to the dog. He one day a dog was running down. It was a dog off the leash, and the dog was running down and stuff like that. And Thunder had my back. And Thunder's just he's a Chihuahua. You understand what I'm saying? You know the Chihuahuas, they go hard. They they like Waka Flocka. They go hard in the paint. Like they small, but they got that anger and that they got heart. You know, and he was a doghouse. Like he was a security dog. Like he plays security. That's what he do. He stands in front of the door for like 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours, just standing with his shoulders up like this. But when the stray dog, came to attack me, I remember him having my back. One day I was walking him, and it was like a dog just it wasn't leash, and I was walking him, and when the dog came close, my the little chihuahua that I had, but he not little, he brolic, and it's the mentality. You feel me? He been through a lot, so he was already on it. He won't be. That's how Thunder was, but he was a humble, kind dog. You understand what I'm saying? He was just overprotected. He was just overprotected, y'all. But I said, thank God for giving me the strength. Thank God for me eating today. Thank God for me drinking water. Thank God for me not giving up and keep pushing and keep striving for greatness. You know, um, it hurts. Is a feeling that you really can't explain. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I gotta be powerful for other people that may be dealing with the same thing or anything of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? But love is love, man. It don't make you weak because you got a kind heart or you're an animal lover. There's nothing wrong with being an animal lover, yo. Nothing wrong with it. And when the Holy Spirit wanna cry, you let it out. When the Holy Spirit wanna cry, you let it out, man. God is good though, you know. Damn, I'm getting. That's how you know when I'm stressing like a salad dressing. Look at that. That's how you know I'm stressing like a salad dressing. Hmm. You can see it in the face, but it's alright. I'm gonna be good. I feel better than earlier. 1,000% more, way better than I was feeling earlier. Yeah. So I just want to thank the Lord, for that. Then I ran into one of my mans. We was chopping it up. He was like, "Yo, Green, I had a dog too, bro." And he told me the same thing. He was like, "Yo, that his dog had his back. His dog was like his best friend, cause he didn't have a girlfriend. So his dog, like him walking the dog, him feeding the dog, him clean washing the dog. You understand what I'm saying? All of that made him, you know, he had something to live for. He felt alone, like he didn't have a girl, so it was bothering him. But now that he had a dog, he kept his mind occupied. You understand that? But animals, um, you can't feed them just anything. You know, sometimes they want this, they want that, and us as owners, we weak. You know, the dog is staring at you like, please, please. You know, and you I got a soft heart. You understand what I'm saying? Once I see an animal looking at me more than 2 or 3 seconds, I might throw a little chicken wing or something like that under the table or something like that. But what I say is health, health. Period. You understand what I'm saying? Right now we ain't even talking about the dog. Rest in peace to the dog. But health. Period, y'all. Health is something that we need to start taking more serious in life. Please, y'all. Please. The liquor, the smoking, everything, man. The unnecessary times that we eating 3 or 4, 5 times. We gotta do better, y'all, as people. And I'm not saying I'm the best shape. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm striving. I'm trying. I'm making it happen. I'm getting up each and every day, and I'm doing something. Now, I gotta start being more productive on a positive level, because I'm always on guard, y'all. I always got my guard up. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to put your guard down, but you can't put your guard down. You know what's that when you just want to be a regular human being? But you sign up for this, man. Once you sign up for a certain lifestyle, once you sign up for a certain lifestyle, you haven't seen the movie Blood In and Blood Out? You haven't seen the movie Blood In and Blood Out? One way in, no way out. Oh yeah, yeah, there's a way out. Oh yeah, yeah, there's a way out. But you're gonna have to pay. with your life. You gotta take a life to get involved, and then they take your life to not get involved. Shit is designed for us to fail, y'all. It's designed for us to fail as people. Why are they even able to sell liquor? Why? Why are they even able to sell liquor, man? Look at this, man. I don't even want this, man. Yeah, yeah. I don't want it, man. They're gonna have to call housing on me right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Call housing or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Call housing on me. Forgive me, but this gotta go out the window, man. Yeah, yeah, man. I don't want to drink, man. Nah, man. It's going out the window, man. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. I'm debating, man. I'm debating right now, man. See what that liquor do? That should make you debate whether you should throw it out or not. Look at that. I'ma just leave it there, man. But I ain't gonna drink. I'ma give it to somebody. I'ma give it to somebody. Even though I shouldn't be giving nobody no poison, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Now flush that shit, man. Yeah, yeah, flush that shit, bro. Man, throw that shit out, man. Yeah, yeah, throw it out, bro. Gangster, 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 bro. Throw it out, bro. Sometimes you just gotta get rid of shit. Start fresh. Start fresh. It was hard. It was tempting to keep. I paid $5 for that. I paid $5 for that. But I said, you know what? My health is more important than that, man. My health es salud. My health is more important than that. That should have never been that hard. That should have never been that hard for you, Green Eyes. But it takes time. Patience is key, and take your baby steps, young bro. Green Eyes, take your baby steps. That was a wise decision right there. Now I'm not gonna judge you. I see you drinking on another live because I know what you're going. But that right there, every time you even step into the liquor store or you even walk by or something like that, you think about the day that you threw it out the window and you could have got evicted for that. You could have got evicted for that. That's how you got to think about it. You got to think things deeper, Greenhouse. This shit is deeper than rap, yeah. It's deeper than rap. But I appreciate that I got rid of it. I appreciate that I took the time to get rid of something that's negative, that's gonna poison my body, that's not really gonna help me. It's just gonna keep me thinking, thinking a lot. George RB3 salute. George RB3 salute. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Um, you know, and this is the next thing, y'all. This bullshit. This is the next thing to go, man. This shit ain't even. I rather a lot of y'all too addicted to weed, man. A lot of y'all emotional. Y'all get emotional because of weed. Yeah, man. The weed got some. It got some select. It got some. I'm gonna do my research because my man was talking about it. He was talking about um that the weed, it has, it makes us let me see how I got you. I got you. Okay, I got it. Give me a second, y'all. Patience is key. Okay, I got it. Um, okay, I got it. Hmm, I got you. I got it right here.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that they legalize it. Whatever the government cannot stop what we're doing, they legalize it and they make you pay taxes on it. Charles. Charles. So that's what I think it is. Really nice. Yeah, most definitely. Whatever the government get in, of course it's gonna be a $1 billion industry. Same thing that they do for cocaine. You realize cocaine is really legalized, right? The dentists use cocaine. The doctors, the allopathic community use cocaine. Wow. You can actually buy cocaine, synthetic cocaine, over the counter. It's called benzene. It actually numbs your jaw. They shoot it.
How you doing today, Queen? I want to apologize for the other day. I was drunk. My bad. I watched the live. I felt embarrassed. I'm sorry about that. Wait, what's that? What's that? How are you? Sturdy. Yeah, I'm doing good, Queen. Can't complain. Taking it easy day by day. Getting my ones and twos in. Hit the like button for me if you could. I would gladly appreciate it. Today was a bad day. I lost my dog today. Um, yeah, it was a rough start for me. Uh, you can hear me now. You hear me now? Like the Verizon? You hear me now? You hear me now? You hear me now? It's like the Verizon. You hear me now? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Why you can't hear me? You sure? That's weird.
You sure?
Look, I can hear me. Yup.
That's weird.
See that? I can hear me. I can hear me. Hey,
Sure? Yeah, I can hear me.
loud and clear, like a
Yup.
red Montclair.
That's weird. See that? I can hear me. I can hear me.
So you can hear me now, right? We're good? You can hear me, right? Oh, okay. Come on, girl. You can't be doing that. Come on. You can't be playing like that, Queen. Yo, what the fuck is that in my teeth? Yeah, I gotta stop eating. Loud and clear like a red Montclair. That's a. Well, I basically was saying I had lost my dog today and stuff like that. So today was like a rough day. It was a rough start, but eventually I got it together. Um, I said I wanted to apologize to you because Green Eyes was drinking, and you know he said a couple of things. So I apologize to you, Quinn. I apologize to you, and I hope everything is well in your end. But what I was talking about, how's your day? Did you eat today? Basically, I was talking about the marijuana, how it has an effect on the people and stuff like that. And then I was gonna play this.
That's what they call a spirit. And that's real spirituality. It's the practice. Smoking weed do not benefit black people at all. Smoking weed benefit the government. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they legalize it because they couldn't stop it. Whenever the government cannot stop what we're doing, they legalize it and they make you pay taxes on it. Charles. Charles. So that's what I think it is. Really nice. Yeah, most definitely. Whenever the government get in, of course it's gonna be $1 billion industry.
Entertainment purposes, educational purposes only, y'all. Let's go.
Same thing that they do for cocaine. You realize cocaine is really legalized, right? The dentists use cocaine. The doctors, the allopathic community use cocaine. Wow. You can actually buy cocaine, synthetic cocaine, over the counter. It's called benzene. It numbs your jaws. They shoot it. It strengthens the cells and it open up what you would call NR2 pathways of the cells, and it even kicks on glutathione. So marijuana is a self-rehabilitating plant. The problem is with any type of food, the moment you put fire to it, you change the molecular structure and it becomes a chemical. And whenever you put a chemical in the body, there's a byproduct of it. And the byproduct of marijuana is not only cytoestrogen, but it's tar, it's a bunch of carbon monoxide and all types of things that you don't need inside of your body. So it's good when you use it as a tea form or if you use it as an edible, but the moment you put a flame to it and you wrap it up and whenever we rolling up in and you smoke it, not only is you killing the neshama, the ruach hakodesh, what they call the spirit of the body, and that's real spirituality. It's the practice and the perfection of the breath. So you're killing your spirit because you are tainting your spirit with the blowback and the byproduct and the smoke of the marijuana when you burn it. Not only when you burn it, you change the molecular structure, so you yield high amounts of what you would call phyto or cytoestrogen, which is bad for man anyway, because it makes you put on visceral fat and it changes the way that your actual opioid receptors react to your reality. Messes that up. It burns brain cells. It literally burns.
So you know how sometimes you feel like you're hallucinating or you don't know, like you feel like you're in a different dimension. You know how Green I say here different sandwich? It's like that. Like you start hallucinating. You think people out to get you. You start getting paranoid. Listen.
Estrogen, which is bad for men anyway, because it makes you put on visceral fat and it changes the way that your actual opioid receptors react react to your reality. Messes that up. It burns brain cells. It literally burns brain cells, and again, you change the molecular structure. Now, back then, smoking weed was it all that bad? No, because we didn't have hybrid, we didn't have bubble kush and all of this other stuff with different names on it that became named that didn't have seeds in it. Now if you have seeds in your weed, you broke, you smoking on Reggie. Back then, having seeds in your weed, meaning your weed and your marijuana was organically grown, right? And it didn't have herbicides, insecticides, or pesticides sprayed on it. So, I say weed is a perception. It's all about how you choose to look at it. You either can take the light way out and know, basic biochemistry and fundamentals of biochemistry and use it as a tea concoction to heal the body and relax the nervous system, or you can put a flame to it, change the chemical molecular structure, and face the consequences of having lung disease and a smaller brain from dehydration later on down the line. It all depends on how you really want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Yeah, it's your boy Philadelphia Freeway live from ACAB, man. Logical shift that's coming. I don't think it's that. I think, they seen, hold on, niggas ain't finna stop smoking weed. Right. Matter of fact, when I look at the statistics, they smoking it more. Right. The government like, hold on, let's get in on it. Because notice the regulations that they do once they legalize it. You got to have a card. You can't have a felony. You got to do this. All these different regulations, and it don't benefit us. Smoking weed do not benefit black people at all. Smoking weed benefit the government. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they legalize it because they couldn't stop it. Whenever the government cannot stop what we're doing, they legalize it and they make you pay taxes on it. Talk. So that's what I think it is. Yeah, most definitely. Whenever the government get in, of course it's gonna be $1 billion industry. Same thing that they do for cocaine. You realize cocaine is really legalized, right? The dentists use cocaine. The doctors, the allopathic community use cocaine. Wow. You can actually buy cocaine, synthetic cocaine, over the counter. It's called benzene. It actually numbs your jaws. They shoot it up in your gums when they pull the teeth out. They use it.
That's facts, Stacey. That's a big fact.
I think all these different opioids, all these opiate receptor drugs is in the community. These come from poppy plants. So even cocaine is legalized. It's all depending on who got it though. The pharmaceuticals can sell as many drugs as they want. We just can't because there ain't no way to pay taxes on dope. Dope will be legal if the CIA can find a way to tax Negroes for selling keys. They won't have no issue with nobody be locked up. That's why I'm just completely sober. After I done tried to kill myself, man, I'm like, I don't do nothing. And hopefully I'm not taking anything that I don't know about. Yeah, I mean, man, what's crazy is just walking out here and breathing in this fine air of Philadelphia's drugs. You got benzene in the air, you got chloride in the air, you got so many environmental pollutants in the air. The only thing we can do is keep praying, expanding our consciousness, and hope that our spiritual bodies, or what they call our astral bodies, and our physical bodies mutate and adapt. And that's the beautiful thing about melanin. It's kind of like cockroaches. You will never kill black people. You can try to exterminate as many as you want, but we don't die. We don't multiply. Facts.
Right on.
Real quick, because you say humans not supposed to eat meat. Yeah. I was on your YouTube channel and all that. Watch your YouTube channel. I want to ask you this. Ancestors, way back in the day and all that, they used to hunt together. Yeah. So what should take when they used to hunt bamboos and cantaloupes? Yeah, you're right. They've been hunting and gathering for hundreds of thousands of years. There have never been times on Earth where there wasn't a so-called black man. We have been existing since the Earth been in existence. If you go back to the beginning, they were frugivores. If you go through the evolutionary process through this ring.
Damn, Wisdom one day you were talking. I got
I'm telling you, DraftKings is the best place to bet player props.
I got ya. I got it right here. This is just so hard conversations that people have, so you can educate the people. But Yaki, he's very educated.
Wounds all over my body. My name is Kai, but everybody I'm fine. My name is Yakai. Everybody call me. Oh man, Yakai. Yeah, Yakai. Everybody call me Yaki for sure. Okay. So my name Yakai, but everybody I'm biased to the key. I'm always gonna try to throw a key in there. Hey, no, this is really Yaki. Yeah. Okay. So it's Yakai. It's a Hebrew name and just means Yahoo gives life or Yahweh gives life. Right. And my middle name is Rapha. Rapha means healer. Last name Elohim means power. You know what I'm saying? So, my name really explains who I am, but everybody call me Yakin for short. You know what I'm saying? But what got me into health and healing was truly, essentially healing myself. You know, being in the streets of St. Louis, raised out there, running the streets, gang banging, getting shot, stabbed. I got metal from here to here, wounds all over my body. You tend to start getting into, activities that's not healthy or conducive for your health, man. So, I was smoking a lot of weed, drinking a lot of alcohol, and I got into snorting cocaine with the gang that I was with. Mm-hmm. And I ended up developing heart disease. My kidneys start to fail. I had diabetes, high blood pressure, man. I remember taking all the medicines and everything, but I wouldn't stop smoking cigarettes, stop smoking weed, stop drinking alcohol, and I wouldn't stop snorting. So one day I ended up snorting a line, man, and I had a mini heart attack. And I ended up going to the hospital, and they was telling me while I was in the hospital, I was actively having a heart attack. And just listening to the doctors, my mom used to always tell me to stop. Sisters, brothers, everybody used to always tell me to slow down. But it was just something about that last particular incident, man, and being in that hospital and that doctor looking me in my eyes, just telling me if you do this again, you might not survive this one. And man, it scared me straight. I ended up going home that day. I threw away all my dope, threw away the dope that I was selling, flushed my weed down the toilet. You know what I'm saying? And I sat down on the couch. And I'm like, man, when I was sitting down, I was sitting next to a little table and I had all my medicine up there. And I just got disgusted with myself, man. So I'm like, man, what can I do not to take this medicine no more? Because it was having physical effects on my body where I couldn't even be a young man, if you know what I mean. That's what the side effects of the medicine do. You can't procreate and stuff off of that stuff because blood don't flow properly. Right. So, man, I ended up getting on YouTube and Googling natural healing remedies, you know what I'm saying, to some of the stuff that I was suffering from. And a Caucasian man, an Anglo-Saxon, popped up, and I couldn't feel him. But at the end of the video, YouTube give you, suggested people that you can listen to. And Dr. Savy popped up, man, and I seen this black, tall, skinny, bald-headed man talking about he done healed HIV, sickle cell anemia. Luke give you, suggested people that you can listen to. And Dr. Savy popped up, man, and I seen it. Black, tall, skinny, bald-headed man talking about he done healed HIV, sickle cell anemia, leukemia, talking about the Usha Village Research Institute. And it just blew my mind because, coming from my aspect, superheroes don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? You look at the TV, you see the man with the cape on, it's a white face behind it. You see Wonder Woman, it's a white face behind it. So to see a black man speaking with such authority like that, with confidence, and he was for sure, it took me, man, and I became addicted to the research. So I started studying him. I studied him so much. Within the next 3 days, I knew who all his wives was. I knew everybody's name. That's how much I was just watching him. And man, that's what he like motivated a spark for my purpose. And everything changed right there, man. I ended up studying herbology. I got into a bunch of biochemistry classes. I am a biochemist. Started studying a lot of stuff, and then that's when I started messing with particular herbs. Ended up making me a concoction, took my own herbs and healed myself within 120 days. I went back to the doctor. I didn't have no more scar tissue on my heart. I didn't have diabetes no more. I didn't have high blood pressure no more. I was able to get an erection. I mean, everything about my whole entire life had changed just from changing my diet and changing what I was drinking, man. And that's once I healed myself, man. My mama was like, I seen you do it. I watched you do it. What about me? I got high blood pressure. So I ended up giving her the herb. She healed. From there, I went to my sister. And once I healed my sister, it went worldwide, man. Started in the small communities in St. Louis, and now we're global with it.
That's powerful. It's a lot in there that's powerful, matter of fact, and it's a lot really to unpack. Because, you know, we got a epidemic within our culture, because we got a death culture.
Yeah.
You understand me? We very necromantic. You understand me? Like, we celebrate the things that bring us closer to death.
Yeah.
Rather than that, celebrate the expansion of our lives and raise our vibration. So when it comes to the reality of, like, you know, young men overdosing on lean or doing lean and things of that nature, you know, or just ones that's out there popping pills, doing drugs. Because you didn't just say you got rid of cocaine, you say you got rid of the weed too.
Everything.
You understand me? But why the weed? Why everything? Why not just, you know, from what you know caused the heart attack? You understand me? What gave you the mindset to say, you know what, I'm gonna just completely detox from it all?
I mean, for one, you know, if you look at what weed is and you look at marijuana and you study the chemical composition of it, you know, the THC is acidic. And when it binds to certain chemistry in your brains, it actually kills your brain cells when you put a flame to it. Anytime you put fire to anything, you change the chemical molecular structure of it. So, you know, I'm not against marijuana for healing purposes if you use it as in teas and stuff like that for healing. But when you using it for psychotic, you know, ailments, and you using it just to free yourself from where you went in order, you know, in order to stop the shadow work that you need to go through to actually free yourself, then it becomes a drug and you get addicted to it. And not only that, it kills your brain cells. The way they make the weed now, where they take a female plant and mix it with a female plant and get all these hybrids. Not only that, they put magnesium blockers or magnesium inhibitors inside of the weed that stop the seeds from growing. So now you got all this hybrid weed with no seeds that was created by Yahweh for you to get. So then you smoking this stuff and you look at the research on weed and the height of the hybrid weed, man, it changes your psychological preference in life. It even changes your sexuality in certain type of ways, and people don't look at it like that, but it does. So we see a lot of effeminate men. We see a lot of homosexuality exchanges going on within the black community, and nobody ever looked at the marijuana and dig into the biochemical history of the marijuana to see that the marijuana is changing our outlook and perception on life.
You know, Dr. Wesley, you know, one of the person I look up to when it comes to information, because his scholarship is very rigorous. He does a lot of detail, and he brings the science and the facts. And he talks about, you know, the chemical assault on the black man and black malehood, and specifically in connection to weed. You feel me? Because, you know, like you said, when you smoke it, it changes the chemical composition. You understand me? Because most people are doing it for the psychoactive effect, not the cannabinoids, and not so that they can get some sort of healing or anti-inflammation or whatever it may be. You know, they want to get high, right? And so the reality of it is that it has inhibitors that block testosterone. You understand me? Specifically in men, but also increase testosterone in women, right? And so, you know, those balances and imbalances of mood, imbalances of hormones have an effect on it. And most people don't want to take a look and have that conversation, but we know that that's the reality. You know, like, we live at the point where if you can distract us from that mind of God where we focus, there's nothing we can do. You understand me? Like, if we can get focused, we can build and produce any idea that's within the mind. This episode is brought to you by Gold. You understand me? And your sexual drive and things of that nature. And so it's because I know I'm gonna have a diverse audience, but in the day, truth is truth.
Everything starts from that primitive gut tool. It's three things that's created simultaneously, I would say, at the same time. That's the nervous system, the primitive gut tool, and something called the lipid sac. The lipid sac is the actual lymphatic system where it can clean up all the byproducts that the baby is getting from eating all the food that mother eats. Then you also have that blood. The blood and lymph is called the interstitial fluid of the body. This is all talking about the same chemical composition. From there, you got the primitive gut tool where everything grows from. You know, they call it the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. And when you start looking, and this is how holistic health is, your skin is made from the same cells as your brain. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a skin problem, something is wrong with your brain. You know what I'm saying? You start looking at your internal organs, they made for the same thing as your eyes. So Like when I just think we need to be re-educated and taught of what true love is, and that love for self is gonna make us research health. It's gonna make us research food. It's gonna make us research religion. It's gonna all have to start with that self love. But again, we letting people create our environment and putting us in these tanks. I used to have a snake, and I remember when I had this snake, I was like 10 years old, but some.
Listen to this, y'all. I love when he said this. He said people trying to put you in a cage. And he said, I used to have a snake. I used to have a snake too, man. My father had a snake, man. He used to let the snake out. He used to be roaming around the house. Nobody knew what a snake was. Yo, man. Yo, wow.
Caught up to me. It stayed in my consciousness. That self love. But again, we letting people create our environment and putting us in these tanks. I used to have a snake, and I remember when I had this snake, I was like 10 years old, but something caught up to me. It stayed in my consciousness. My mama said, if you don't change the cage and make the cage bigger, the snake won't grow. It will only grow to fit in the cage. And I'm like, dang. So now, I'm 33 thinking about it. If you put somebody in an environment and you limit that environment that you put them in, they only gonna be able to grow to function in that environment. Anything outside that environment, they're gonna be unaware of, or they're gonna lack the knowledge of, and that's why we're ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Because we are not being privy to the environment. So privy to the knowledge that they're keeping away from us, and that's why I respect you, man, like so much, because you are out feeding the masses of people, and you get into the high level conversations, and now we waking people up. They probably ain't notebooks like this right now. Let me look up that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's what it's about. So what we doing essentially is we breaking that cage that my mama was talking about with that snake out here. We breaking it. Now that snake is able to grow and be introduced to another environment that it didn't even know existed, man.
Most of us, we so attracted to death, we got to distract them from it. Like, unfortunately, it's like, how like a person watching Netflix all day, like that's their distraction. But really, it's not. That's their primary focus. This is their distraction. You understand me? Because this ain't their dominant majority in their life. Like consciousness is now people's distraction.
Yeah.
And then they go right back to the reality. You understand me? That's destroyed.
Which is their focus.
Yeah, which is what they primary
focus. I like that.
So it's like knowing that being a 1% of somebody's life, trying to increase the repetition of people getting into the pattern and a better frequency of self. Like always say, what you do frequently becomes your frequency.
Facts.
Right? Like you can look at a person's reality and see the sum of their habits, their thoughts, their ideas, and their patterns.
Facts.
That's the frequency you want.
Facts.
And it's going to control you. But I want to have a conversation about this because you talked about something, and it's about more so the connection between food and sex, right? Now, I know that specifically in America, when you go on a date, most of the dates are going to be to food, right? You're going to eat food, the blood going to go down, it's going to excite those erogenous areas, it's going to make you horny, you want to have sex. That's the food sex cycle. You have sex, you burn the calories, you understand me, and then you get hungry, and then it's a full sex cycle within that pattern of relationship.
Can I throw something in there real quick?
No, I want you to throw it all in there, man.
And look, we gotta keep this. We gotta keep this too. The food that they eat got sexual hormones in them, especially if you're eating chicken. Because they want them to reproduce faster, so they sticking them with all types of sexual steroids. So that come on to you. Then most of the food is diet from stress. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting all them stress, melanin neurotransmitters that come from the food. So and you have to look at promotion wise when.
Yeah, because y'all got to think about it. The animals been manslaughtered. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of us fear because we eat chicken and stuff like that. And, they fear for their life. You know what I'm saying? And it's just when it comes to the food and sex and stuff like that, it really go hand in hand. Like a lot of the foods, they shape like, a certain shape. The pizza, it's like you know, the a girl's vagina. Look,
When it comes to food psychology, we see that a Snicker is made to replicate a black man's penis. Got the veins in it and everything. You bite into the Snicker, you got caramel dripping from the Snicker. It's even in our food. Hot dogs. What is the concept of a hot dog? And why do a hot dog go between buns? What about pizza? How pizza is used for pedophiles. It's called Pizza Gate. But you see, pizza represents the upside down triangle, which represents the womb of a woman. So food is sexual. But we have to start looking at sex.
see what I just said? See how I just said that? I didn't even know he was gonna say that part. That's crazy. I told y'all. See that? That's why I fuck with him. He's high level.
Food psychology. You know, we see that a Snicker is made to replicate a black man's penis. Got the veins in it and everything. You bite into the Snicker, you got caramel dripping from the Snicker. It's even in our foods. Hot dogs. What is the concept of a hot dog? And why do a hot dog go between buns? What about pizza? How pizza is used for pedophiles. It's called Pizza Gate. But you see, pizza represents the upside down triangle, which represents the womb of a woman. So food is sexual. But we have to start looking at sex. Sex ain't all about the sexual reproductive organs, you know. Just like a woman have lips on her mouth, she have lips down there. You know, just how you have certain things that's in the back of your throat. This is something called a clitoris. So we see that as above, so below. So you can have sex through food, just like you have sex through your lower reproductive organs.
That's why people, I mean, you know, a lot of people substitute sex for food sometimes. It's going to give you that same endorphin raise. You understand me? You feel like you're in love.
Hey, look, so
in America, it's, well, they say 45% of America is obese, but it's really probably 78%.
Facts. You know, they be lying on them stats.
Yeah. But I was going to ask you, because you talked about curing, because number one, there's a lot of black men out there with erectile dysfunction at young ages. And
the truth is, behind closed doors, the P word became.
Happy Halloween, y'all. When is Halloween? The 31st? It's coming.
go your whole life and be able to procreate, and reproduce. But of course, with all of the things that we eat, you understand me, and all of the mucus that build up and all the things that's in between, not only are we not creating enough little swimmers, you understand me, like growing up in St. Louis, we was drinking best sodas and all kind of crazy crap.
Red hot ribbons.
Yeah, man, the emos, you feel me? It was good, but it was destroying my manhood.
Yeah,
you understand me, the whole time, decreasing my testosterone, not giving me none of the substance and nutrition that I need. And so there's a lot of males that destroy today from a biological level.
Yeah, facts.
You understand me? Just on the way that they eat. Like, you can't produce that energy. Number one, you don't have any control over it. Yeah. Then two, you can't properly, that's an emasculation right there.
Facts.
And then you can't even think clearly. So now you're not that type of person that can even come up with ideas and produce them in reality. So you ain't got no power in the first place. Yeah. So it's like, how did you get over, from when you was doing drugs and you started to clear up to where you can properly function as a man again?
First I had to realize a word that I call estrogen annihilation.
Yeah.
That's what's making us very feminine. That's what's happening with the THC and the weed. That's what's happening with what they putting into all the food. And then if you look,
call it soy boys.
Soy boys, right? Soy boys. Yeah, soy boys, the estrogen annihilation. And if you look at estrogen, synthetic estrogen, it is what we were just talking about earlier, which is a magnesium inhibitor and a manganese inhibitor. You can't produce zinc, and zinc is what works with testosterone to create your actual seminal fluid, or what we're gonna call semen. So, if you're eating all these foods that's high in estrogen, high in all these different acidic acids that's being left behind as byproducts of synthetic chemicals that they put in the food for additives and preservatives, these preservatives are literally not only behavior modifiers, but they're sexual modifiers too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's really messing with us, man, and cutting off our circulation, keeping us from getting erections, and keeping us from reproducing the actual seminal fluid. So how I got rid of mine was I started studying a lot, and once I realized that, dang, estrogen is naturally supposed to be in my body, but I'm not using the natural estrogen in my body. I'm using the synthetic estrogen.
Right.
Dang, that's robbing me.
Right.
Estrogen is now synthetic estrogen is the iron phosphate inhibitor too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the black man's mineral is iron phosphate. Period. We need that for oxygen. We need that to convert all types of other different steroids over. So I'm starting to see that the food was robbing me of all the minerals and all the melanin neurotransmitters that I need to keep a balance of homeostasis. So once I started shying away from the food, because that moment in the hospital for me, I started loving myself. I don't know what it was. I don't even know if it was the doctor or if it was my time. Yahweh was just like, look, get it now or don't get it. But it woke me up.
Perhaps it was just the idea that, you was living to get close to death. And then you got it and realized you wanted to be closer to life.
Right, I didn't want it back.
You understand me? It was somebody was saying that, if I said, yo, I'll give you $10 million right now, everybody gonna be like, cool, I take $10 million. You know, but if I say, all right, I'm gonna give you $10 million, but you understand me? It means you won't wake up tomorrow morning. So you got till now, till tomorrow, but you get your $10 million.
Nah, I don't need no 10 million.
And so what that would say is that means
Whoa, that's a fact. I'm good on that. You think what? 10 million for one day? Shit, time go fast. That day it goes so fast, and then boom, it would just disappear. Yeah, that's crazy. But he gonna break it down like Nino.
um, everybody gonna be like, ah, cool, I take $10 million. You know, but if I say, all right, I'm gonna give you $10 million, but you understand me? It means you won't wake up tomorrow morning. So you got till now, till tomorrow, but you get your $10 million.
Nah, I don't need no 10 million.
And so what that was to say is that means that waking up tomorrow is more valuable than $10 million.
Fact.
So we should be living like it. Yeah. Because anybody in this room would take $10 million just for another day. Yeah. So that lets you know how valuable life and breathing another moment is, but we don't have that reality. Fact. You understand me? Because we born in systems that tell us, all right, number one, everything is planned out for us. Fact. Right? You got your nursery, you got your middle school, you got high school, you get that degree, or you get that diploma, then you go into college, then you go take out a debt loan. You understand me? Take that debt loan, then you go through college, go through a university, then go work for somebody else. You work for somebody else, you set up your retirement account, IRA, all of that shit, and then you retire. You understand me? And then you just wait to die. Like, that don't sound like a life that no human being should ever sign up for.
It sounds like prison.
It is a prison because it's a structure that was given where you can't control your mind and your will. So I always talk about there's no degrees to slavery. If you were a slave by any degree, you're still a slave.
Still a slave.
But we often compare it to chattel slavery, which was the worst form.
Yeah.
So we're like, I'm not a slave. Yeah. No, you're a slave. You're just not in chattel slavery.
Yeah, they took off the chains and put you in psychological chains.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but I want to talk about, just some of the foods that you do eat. You understand me? Just as a bruh from the streets and somebody that can see themselves in you, they're like, all right, I hear the nice science, I hear the words, I hear everything, but what do I actually eat if I want to go about a diet of restoring myself, restoring my gut, my heart, my mind, healing myself?
So I would say this, transitional wise, because they're gonna need a transition. Where we through the 12 years of doing this, through the thousands of healing testimonies of so-called incurable diseases, with the paperwork to prove it, anybody just Google Yaki healing testimonies, they'll pop up. I noticed they always lead with the transitional diet first. So I say a good transitional diet will be the late great Dr. Sebi diet. It's a good transitional diet, going the alkaline way and then cooking the food, so-called cooked alkaline food. It's a very good transition. But after that, you have to graduate from that too. And go on to the raw side and stop putting fire to your food, which is changing the chemical composition of the food. Anyway,
you just lost 90% of the audience.
Yeah, I know. So and that's why I always throw out the transition. But if you truly want to yield high vitality and high living and keep your thoughts clear and be in vibration with your creator, you have to do things all on how the creator planned it to be. If we was meant to cook our food, we would have something in our anatomy that creates fire. Like a dragon can breathe fire from his breath. Yeah. If we was meant to eat meat, we would have claws, we would have canines, we have short colons. We'd sleep 16 to 20 hours a day. We'd be horizontal, where we can get up to 70 miles an hour to track down our prey. We don't have none of these things. If we was meant to cook, the Creator Yahweh would have created pots and pans in the wilderness, where there was pots and pans there. So if you look at the animal kingdom, I've never seen them get a pot and pan to cook their food. I've never seen them use oil to cook their food. I've never seen them fry anything. They rely on nature's natural resources, and we see that animals live longer than us. Animals live longer than us. Why is that? That's because they are adapted to their natural habitat. We are not. We have been put in a artificial environment and given food and given us these concepts of cooking and these concepts of what true food is.
So are you a vegan?
I'm not a vegan. I'm totally not a vegan. That vegan word is a whole
Yeah,
Man, it's a unhealthy movement.
I know that there was an older white gentleman that was in love with cows. You understand me? And he stopped eating meat because of that and any animal-based products. You understand me? He took the derivative of vegetarian and said that I'm a vegan. So he started that, but it had nothing to do with health.
No, nothing at all.
You understand me? And I think that number one, people ask me if I'm a vegan all the time, and I always say no but I tell them I'm healthy though, which is a complete difference.
Yeah.
But not every vegan can say that they're healthy.
Yeah.
Because they don't focus on health.
No, facts.
You understand me?
Facts.
They focus on restrictions based on animals.
Yeah, facts.
Right? Or the planet, but not based on their health and human beings and how we actually supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I seen do you eat honey?
Yes, and that's what I was going to get into.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why for one, I don't like the word vegan anyway. Yeah. Period. But I don't, for and on the record, I don't eat no animals. I don't eat any dairy products. I don't eat none of that. You know what I'm saying? My diet literally is like an 80% fruit, 20%, vegetable type diet. I eat grains here and there, sprouted beans and stuff like that. But my diet is very, very, very clinical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What about? First of all, I want to put out my propaganda against the honey haters. You feel me? Because I went to a restaurant Planta in Miami, and they said they don't serve honey because they vegans. Man, I was mad.
You realize Planta's his favorite restaurant in Miami. We fly to Miami just to go to Planta.
Man, Planta's good as hell, but they don't serve honey, and I'm getting into it with the people like, bro, come on, man, this is vegan.
Yeah.
Like, come from Planta.
It comes from plants. They say it comes from the bees.
Because the bees is working. But
come
listen,
on, man.
That's why I was like, man, this stuff is ridiculous.
It is.
Like, who made up these rules?
It's too intellectual, bro.
Yeah, because number one, you got big vegans.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, which are completely unhealthy because either, let's say you don't eat plant-based food, or you don't eat meat-based food, but you eat too much.
Yeah.
You understand me? Of everything else.
Yeah.
And then you got junk-based vegans where you just eat food that's not animal-based, but it's junk food.
Yeah.
You understand me? It's not good for you.
Yeah.
And then you got people who eat plant-based.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Which is not a vegan. They're plant-based.
Yeah, plant-based.
And that's when I'm plant-based.
Different.
I'm plant-based.
I respect plant-based way more because plant-based is really based on health. But I wanted to throw in, talking with my brother Blue Pill, and Mama Pill, and Red Pill, and KT Arts Degree when I was in New York, and came up in a conversation about the Dr. Sebi diet. And, Mama Pill, she was married to Dr. Sebi when he was going through his cases and founded his first facility to where the current Barclays Center is in New York. And so she helped him through that entire period through the trial and everything else. But me and Blue was talking about that diet, where that diet was more specifically that electrical food diet that where you see the small list for people who are sick. So it was a healing diet. Now don't get me wrong, most people are sick. You understand me? But the strictness was specifically with those restrictions to heal. When you talk about hearing all of the people that got cancers or AIDS or herpes or all of those different things, it was to electrify that body, create all those restrictions so that no other chemicals, and this is the way I'm interpreting now, and he said that, but I know a lot of people start off with that and they can't adhere to it, you understand me, because it was always meant to be like, if you will, a medical guide. You understand me? Imagine a doctor saying, look, you got cancer, you can only eat this, that, and the third. But at the same time, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it just because most people in America are sick.
No, fact.
Just undiagnosed.
Yeah, and there's a lot of genetic weaknesses going on too. Me personally, I would use and all much respect to Dr. Sebi, late great. He the one who ignited the flame in me that got me doing what I'm doing now.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad was my first for How to Eat to Live.
Man, that book is amazing.
Yeah.
Till this day.
Yeah.
Till this day.
I mean, well, a lot of people don't give it credit, but Honorable Elijah Muhammad sparked
that was a good book.
The whole entire health food revolution in America.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
That's what Dr. Sebi said.
Amongst many other things he sparked.
Oh, yeah.
Amongst many other things. Facts. These are facts.
You know what I'm saying?
But me, I'm not gonna say I 100% agree with the diet. I do agree for a transitional period. But me, as the fruitarian, studies clinical trials, because everything, the HIV that we heal, the herpes that we heal, which you can pull this stuff up, the herpes cases, the cancer cases, we done got people out of wheelchairs that was wheelchair bound for 8 years. We healed somebody in Detroit that couldn't walk for 10 years, you know what I'm saying, in a wheelchair. these was on high energetic fruit diets. And then studying our physiology, it's proven. I know that our body's done adapted to certain foods, but it's proven that we yield the most energy and we live the best and how I have clear thoughts on all fruit diets. So
what is a culture that is mostly just a high fruit diet?
What do you mean?
Like, is there a culture that you can look to, like in Africa, with some original people that to this day eat mostly just high fruit?
So you got islanders. Islanders eat mostly fruit. They do have vegetables here and there, but they eat mostly fruits. Islanders most definitely. I got plenty of books too that talk about the fruitarian diet. You got Back to Eden that talks about people that used to eat fruits and nothing but fruits. You also got Dr. Morse. He talks about the same thing. You got Dr. Lilela Africa in his early books. He was talking about how we all came from that fruit diet. You know what I'm saying? And again, once you study the physical makeup and you put in the clinical trials, we got 12 years in of putting people on all fruits and seeing what it does to the body. Not saying that these other diets, lipids, should I say, because I hate the word diet, can't heal you, but I see fast healing, especially neurologically, is going to be on high energetic foods. But you do have to put in, genetic weaknesses, man. We genetically weak. And every time the child get older and have a baby, that's another genetic weakness. So we see fruits, people get on fruits, they get completely skinny, start seeing a sunken face, and they look malnutrition. But that's the genetics for us eating all these acidic forming foods that have been breaking down our tissues and breaking down our cells and our mitochondria. So now you get on these high foods, and we got to put in the fact too that the ground is malnutrition. They done completely messed up the soil. You know what I'm saying? The fruits that you're eating now are lacking a lot of they phytonutrients and nutrition. Even the Savvy diet, a lot of this stuff is lacking the stuff that wood had in there hundreds of years ago because what they doing to the earth, man. So, but if you look at it from a physical standpoint, it's physiology. You look at it from our small intestinal tract. Even when you get into the pH balance of something called trypsin, amylose, the way our mouth and our salivary glands produce these alkaline breaking down agents, man, we are frugivores. You know what I'm saying? You can scientifically.
I can't wait to hear a lot of your peers that's in the world of nutrition and health. You understand me? Give their review. You understand me? If you will, about the ideas of more specifically purely eating fruit. You understand me? And I think it's definitely worth a try. I think this is where a lot of people have misconceptions about fruit when it comes to sugar. You understand me? Because people don't believe that you can break down the sugar that's in fruit because they think of it in the same way they think about white sugar or other types of sugar.
Sucrose, pentose, maltose,
and all that. Get the people to break down on sugar and why you can eat fruit without worrying about the sugar aspect.
Oh, of course. So when you got sugar, you got three main bases of sugars. You got galactose, which is produced by the black woman's breast. You have fructose, which is actually naturally occurring in your fruits. And then you have glucose, which is naturally occurring in your vegetables. All right. So I already told y'all earlier in the interview that your fructose yields 12,000 angstroms of energy. Your glucose or your vegetables only yield 9,000 angstroms of energy. Fruits is good. The only way I can heal diabetes 1 or 2 is by way of fructose. When you get somebody with diabetes and they're insulin dependent, you have something called the islands of Langerhans. So they'll say that sugar raises the glucose. You're a glucose low on fruits, which is a total lie. Every diabetic patient that I've had that had 1 or 2 hyperglycemia or diabetes mellitus, we healed them on an all fruit diet with herbs. Now, this is the reason why. Fructose. When you eat fructose bypass the pancreas. The pancreas has something called the islands of Langerhans. You have the alpha cells, which produce glycogen. You have the beta cells that produce insulin. Then you have the delta cells that produce something called somatostatin. Somatostatin is a mixture of a growth pituitary hormone, and it's mixed with glycogen again. Well, in order to actually break down glucose and put glucose in the blood to penetrate a cell, that's what insulin does. Insulin is used as a key. So insulin is the key that take glucose, unlock the cellular membrane, and then the cell swallows the glucose and eat it. Then it gets actually broken down and metabolized by something called the mitochondria. And then you yield something called ATP, ADP, and AMP. Adenosine triphosphate, adenosine monophosphate, and adenosine diphosphate. This is the energy. So we're talking about carbon. Carbon is on your periodic table. All carbon is sugar. Sugar breaks down into carbon. Carbon, what happens is you eat some sugar, right? You will eat the sugar. Once the sugar gets converted in the body, it is CHO. What the conversion is taken out of that hydrogen because hydrogen is acidic. So once you take the hydrogen out of the CHO, it's just carbon and oxygen. This is alkaline. So sugar is alkaline. What's not alkaline is when they take the sugar out of something like a corn, because corn have natural fructose, and then they burn it and change the chemical composition because they put fire to it. The moment you put fire to it, it changes the chemical composition. Now they're heightening it. So they call this high fructose corn syrup. Now it's no longer a fructose, it becomes a dextrose, or it becomes a pentose, which is a 5-sugar phosphate, or they call it sucrose. These things are called polysaccharides. See that we're not talking about monosaccharides. Monosaccharides is what's in your fruits, what's in your vegetables. Polysaccharides is what they're creating in these white men.
This is the story of how Pipe Drive can accelerate your business growth, streamlining the process when sales activities feel overwhelming. To help
man's laboratories, that's what's bad for us. But back to the fructose. Let me show you how amazing fruits is. If you are diabetic and your pancreas is down, because whether it got a fluke worm in it, Bacillus bushki worm in it, a hookworm, a thread worm, usually you find parasites inside of the pancreas when somebody is suffering from diabetes, and you find that the mucus is down or the adrenals are down because the adrenals is in control of something called the autonomic nervous system. The prefix to autonomic is auto. These are things that runs on autopilot. Digestion is supposed to be on autopilot. The flickering of your eyes is on autopilot. Your breathing and your lung capacity is on autopilot. The heartbeat is on autopilot. All these are controlled by the parasympathetic, sympathetic, autonomic nervous system. Well, your pancreas yielding insulin, that's a nervous system issue because the adrenals are down. And the reason why the adrenals are down because you're eating the wrong foods, and these foods are creating toxins and byproducts that you're not getting out of your body because you haven't opened up the lymphatic system and the kidneys to filtrate all of that toxemia out, or your skin is not working. Now check this out. That's the pancreas being down. So what food can I eat that don't break down the glucose? The only other food that I got is fructose. Now, would you glucose low for a couple of days? Yes, you will, because you introducing your body to a new sugar, but it's a natural occurring sugar by Yahweh. Look, so you have two types of digestion, right? You have pancreas digested enzymes that break down the actual glucose. Not only that, the pancreas yield the islets of Langerhans and yield insulin to turn that key to bring glucose to the cell for you to have energy. Fructose completely bypass the pancreas. It go a lipid route. This lipid route is through the liver, and then it's called cellular infusion, where the actual sugar will infuse itself in the cell and don't even use the pancreas. And there's plenty articles, the government articles written up on this, and we have the clinical trials with at least 100 diabetics that prove this stuff, that we healed them on an all-fruit diet with minimum herbs.
So let me ask you, because that was a beautiful breakdown, first of all. You understand me? I can definitely tell you well studied in your science. You talked about ATP. Which fruits have the greatest production for ATP?
We would say high yielding fruits, the fruits that grow the highest to the sky. So now we're talking about carbohydrates. And all that is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen mixed together.
Forgive me how they eat a little snack, but what he's saying is absolutely correct. It's the ones that's closer to the sky, you know, ones closer to the sun. You need the sun, but don't worship the sun, But what do we do sometimes? The first thing we do, we get into our cars, you know, we got curtains, it's just a lot of things that we do to block the sun instead of getting the nutrients from it.
Yeah. So once that oxygen get out, these are called high yielding carbon constituent chains.
Like bananas.
So bananas will give you a high yielding ATP, but bananas are on the starchy side. So I never recommend anybody eating bananas that's trying to cleanse, because now you're gonna start building up a whole lot of glycogen on the liver. You see what I'm saying? So we would say things like mangoes, coconut water, very electrical. Cucumbers, very electrical. Now we're starting to get into something that you would call H3O2 change, not H2O, which is water like this. See, this water dehydrates you. That's why the more this water you drink, the more dehydrated you are. See, but if you drink the beautiful thing about fruits is not only can you eat the fruit to get the macro.
That's what my man Uptown Road was saying. Uptown Road was saying, eat your water. A lot of people was like, how can you do that? It's impossible. How can you eat your water? You understand what I'm saying? But you eat your water through the fruits. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even know who's on
Substance, but the micro substance, which is the structured jelly water.
appreciate everybody that been holding me down and in the building and supporting me and just rocking with me. You know, I appreciate that, man. Everybody that leave a comment, a like button, everybody that watches me. You know, it is well appreciated, man. God bless. May the Lord bless you 1,000 times. Man. Real talk.
Called H3O2 in it is your hydrative factor. So you're supposed to eat your fruits for your water and for your macro constituents. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're getting the water and the air
at the same time.
So I like that because for the adenosine triphosphate, when you utilize cordyceps, that's one of the things that it increases, right? The ATP production. So when you're working out, it's consistently giving you oxygen. You understand me? And what happens, when people work out and why you get those aches, you understand me, is because you're not getting enough oxygen to that muscle. So if you consistently get oxygen while you're working out, then you can work out more and more and more and more and more. That's why I asked that, because if a person takes that particular dietary recommendation or living recommendation, when it comes to, I think you said coconut, mango,
cucumbers, watermelon, fruits, berries, and melons. Fruits is your highest. I mean, berries is your highest because berries have the oxygenators. Them are your antioxidants. You know what I'm saying? Them are where all of your biophotons and bioflavonoids.
So now I want to get to the biophotons and the berries in a second.
I want to talk about your mushrooms though, because you're talking about the cordyceps. Them were high yielding. But if you look at the chemical makeup of cordyceps,
and they're really a fungi rather than a mushroom.
Yeah, and we're talking about the actual mycelium network.
Yeah.
This is an invisible network that everything is. Without mushrooms, we wouldn't even be here. Everything exists off this mycelium network. But guess what is the main chemical constituents of mushrooms? Carbon. Well, guess what carbon is? Sugar. Glucose, galactose, and fructose. So even when you get into the mushroom kingdom, you're still talking about a high sugar diet.
Now, there's another thing that you said in there. You talked about the lymphatic system, but I heard you speak on the idea that you don't truly believe in the immune system.
No.
And I know the lymphatic system is key for the immune system.
Okay.
So, give me your breakdown of your philosophy, why you don't particularly believe in the immune system when you're talking about the function of all these things working.
Okay, so you're talking about immune system when you're talking about immunity, and then they say that what makes up the immune system is the T cells. The T cells is actually the thymus cells. They talk about the B cells, that's the bone marrow cells. They talk about the macrophages, that's inside of something called lymph nodes. They're talking about the phagocytes, that's produced by the white blood cells that goes to the army school that we call the thymus gland to get their actual military position. You see that? So they talk about neutrophils, basophils, monophils. So when you look up what they call the immune system, it's nothing but the lymphatic system. Because last time I checked, everything that they say make up the lymphatic system. The immune system is a lymphatic associated organ. So where's the immune system at?
That makes mad sense.
My interpretation was that
I was noticing my immune ain't even there.
These things working together, and that when one or these two things are off, then that's when the system itself is broken down, rather than one central thing being the key to keeping you safe or not getting sick.
So I agree with that, right? So now we got to get into wordplay then, because they will take the immune system and then feed you their Greek philosophy to keep you away from how to truly heal the system of the body, which is the lymphatic system. So when I say I don't believe in the immune system, in the way you just put it, I believe in that degree.
Or you don't believe in the interpretation.
But their interpretation of it is totally off. So I'd rather not even use the word because it keeps you distracted from the big system that cleans the body anyway, which is the great lymphatic system. Because they got you thinking that you got immunity from something. No, it's cause and effect. What you put inside of your body, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. They got you thinking that you can take a...
For every action is a reaction. For every reaction is an equal by opposite. You say hi, I say bye. You know what I'm saying? My OG told me that. That's a whole fact. Educated, man. Knowledge is power, man.
Certain pill and it'll combat your body against this and that. No, this is a lifestyle change. See, immunity comes between lifestyle change. So you have people studying up on immunity and doing things to build their immune system, but they're not changing their life. And that's the way that they do the propaganda to keep you coming back to them. They got something called immune therapy, immune suppressive therapy, which is chemotherapy, and all these things are supposed to be good for the immune system in the body that actually breaks down the lymphatic system. So in the way, in the terminology you put it, I believe in it. But for our people that's learning new words and really showing them the bigger picture, I'd rather just scratch immune system all the way out of the picture, because when you start studying the immune system from the allopathic community, it gives you all the wrong definitions, and you would never understand how to truly heal the body and bring the body back into a balance of homeostasis.
Now that's key. Now we talk about allopathic, so that gives me a good segue into a couple of things I want to talk about, specifically talking about Western versus Eastern medicine.
Yeah.
Right? And Eastern medicine is more so healing from within. You understand me? And Western medicine is, basically taking pills.
Suppressive therapy.
Yeah, suppressive therapy, having nothing to do with healing or curing.
Facts.
You understand me? Just aiding you in your disease to manage it, so that the longer you are managing it, the more they're getting paid to help you manage.
Facts.
You understand me? And that's the unfortunate reality. So it's like, then when you're not looking at it from a Western perspective, you look at it from an Eastern perspective, because a lot of people don't realize that the way they go about healing and medicine around the world is completely different than the science of America.
Bro, they got something called medicine-less hospitals in the East.
Yeah.
Where you go to the hospital and it ain't not one damn pill there.
Yeah.
And people coming out,
also think about the hospitals and the way that they look, man. That the hospitals look like you about to die. You go in there, they just white walls.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The colors, nothing is vibrant. Nothing speaks to life. Like there's plants in there.
You know what I mean by that? It's just nothing in there in the environment that's like you want to stay alive or you want to be alive, or it's the environment. Yeah. Listen to. I wasn't laughing. I'm just. It's funny how they say certain things because there's plants, little things like that, but you don't see too much things like that. You know, Very powerful.
bro, they got something called medicine-less hospitals in the East.
Yeah.
Where you go to the hospital and
right. Eastern medicine is more so healing from within.
Facts.
You understand me? And Western medicine is, basically taking pills.
Suppressive therapy.
Yeah, suppressive therapy, having nothing to do with healing or curing.
Facts.
You understand me? Just aiding you in your disease to manage it, so that the longer you are managing it, the more they're getting paid to help you manage it.
Facts.
You understand me? And that's the unfortunate reality. So it's like, then when you're not looking at it from a Western perspective, you look at it from an Eastern perspective, because a lot of people don't realize that the way they go about healing and medicine around the world is completely different than the science of America.
Bro, they got something called medicine-less hospitals in the East.
Yeah.
Where you go to the hospital and it ain't not one damn pill there.
Yeah.
And people coming out,
also think about the hospitals and the way that they look, man. That the hospitals look like you about to die. You go in there, they just white walls. The colors, nothing is vibrancy. Nothing speaks to life. Like there should be plants in there. There should be crystals. There should be environments of vibrancy. There should be clean, good foods. Everything in that hospital you should walk in there and feel like, oh, I'm raising my vibration, I'm about to live.
So check this out.
The hospital feel like a mortuary.
If you look down on the hospital, right? I want when you get your time, when you look this up, look down on the hospital. Just Google hospital and get the blueprint of it. It looks just like a rat maze. I mean, identical as a rat maze.
Yeah.
So it's all about these mazes and these environments they putting us in, and that's why infrastructures is important.
I mean, hospitals, schools, and prisons all have similarities.
Yes, and it's all a pipeline.
Yeah.
All the pipeline, school to prison pipeline. If you don't go to prison, school to hospital.
Right.
All due to how you're interacting with your environment. Yeah, and then hospitals.
Yeah.
So it's built up like horse stalls.
But also the fact that you're a very knowledgeable brother that comes and have the knowledge of mineralization and vitamins and food, I also think about the idea that I talked about it before, that, the death, the criminals, the disease first happens at the dinner table. But it's not just, especially nowadays, it's not just on a woman to be able to have this particular knowledge. You understand me? Because if your wife is cooking, but you don't have the knowledge of what's right to be put on that plate, you won't even know how to manage, you understand me, what's right or wrong. You can't be like, nah, man, that ain't good for this, that, and the third. So I want to impart upon the rest of the black men that's looking, and the rest of the men, period, that's going to view this, that you have to have this sort of knowledge to know how your household is being guided.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know if your wife is killing the family or feeding y'all heart disease or diabetes or colon cancer, because you don't understand the food and the makeup and the byproduct of the chemicals and the ingredients on the inside of it in the first place. Yeah. So to be a good steward of the family, to be a leader of the family, you gotta have this kind of knowledge.
Yeah, you gotta know the ledge.
Yeah, you can't. Because I said it before, and a lot of women was like, "Well, it ain't just women's responsibility." And you're completely correct that the man has to have the knowledge, because otherwise you can't filter what the woman is doing, and she may be doing her best but not knowing. Yeah, you understand me? And especially where we are as the greatest society.
Because we all know that women cook with love. You understand what I'm saying? You know, women cook with love, and it's just the fact that sometimes, you know, they don't know any better, you know, about ingredients. You know, they just want to cook you a nice home cooked meal after a hard working 8 hours, or you might have did a double shift. You understand that? She just wanna, you know, happy husband, happy fucking, or whatever, or happy life, happy wife. But that's how the female think. You understand what I'm saying? So she's just cooking just to make you happy. You understand what I'm saying? Not that she's cooking with poison, but you know, you gotta know what are you eating. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna say no to it. Her cooking. You understand what I'm saying? She might fuck you up. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Specifically when it comes to the deconstruction of the roles that society throws upon us and the destruction of the family order in the first place, man doesn't even know how to play roles. You understand me? And a man in a household is supposed to be a teacher. Yeah. Right? You don't have nothing to bring as far as how you feed the knowledge to the table. You understand me? Like, she may be, let's say she cooked, but my pops told me, no disrespect. My mom, she's the best cook ever. I love my mom, first of all. Shout out to mom. I gotta give her a shout out every episode. But he said that, she didn't know how to cook when he first met her, so he taught her how to cook. And Pops, he grew up in a super poverty-stricken environment where, they ain't have nothing to eat at all. So you learn how to just put anything together and create. Like, he can go in there and find salt and pepper and cook a cuisine meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that old school cooking. But just to that point, though, it's like, I want us to remember our responsibility as teachers, and that what we have and we possess in our minds, we have to feed the family from the mental, intellectual construct. And then she can take that knowledge that she's fed, and then she can pour that love and that knowledge into how she prepares the food for the rest of the family.
She nurtures the idea. Yeah. Man cultivate the idea. The woman nurtures the idea, just like he put his seed into her, and then the baby formalized within the womb. Man will buy land, and he will build the house, and she will make it a home. He will build the table, provide the food, she will make it a meal. Man, from the spiritual background that I come from, we were taught that man is not only supposed to be teacher, but he's supposed to be king, he's supposed to be priest and prophet over his household. He's supposed to bring the word of God into his household. That's the priest. He's supposed to be king, meaning he ruled his household, not with an iron fist, but ruled with humility and honor. You know what I'm saying? And prophet. So he's bringing the word. He's ruling over his household. He's the teacher and he's the king. I feel like if a man really facilitate all of that, his household will be completely in order. And that's that natural filtering mechanism. Hold on, woman. What's them potatoes for? Yeah. Is them the right alkaline potatoes? Yeah. Hold on, woman. What's that? Did you hear about the news? And I think that's the reason why us as men, we need to start formulating information communities where we running information past each other. That way we are already filtering the information that's coming within our household.
That's real manhood.
And that's why these schools, man, we got to get our children out of these schools, because we trying to father our households, but they being raised by these public schools. And you know what I'm saying? That's that interest right there.
Now that's talking with Queen Afua, she had we talked about homeschooling. You understand me? And I talked about this young brother named King Randall out of Albany, Georgia, who started his school. He ended up utilizing the public funds to raise, I think past like almost $1 million. Right?
He was on the news, right?
Yeah. So I just interviewed him right before you.
I gotta check that out.
You understand me? And he was talking about how he got 3 buildings, $70,000 each. You understand me? Then he found another building costing about $400,000, and he got 100 acres for about 40 acres for $100,000. You understand me? But he had formulated a school to where it is a school to where they have a boarding school. So it completely takes you out the environment, put the young boys in an environment to where they're not learning information and they're losing it because they're going back to an environment that's detrimental or counter. Right? And I love the way the flow of the high level conversations is coming together because I didn't know the type of knowledge that we were going to possess on this one and how we're going to go back and cipher, but everything is complementing each other.
Yeah.
Each piece is bringing another piece. Oh, listen, school, sport, that's so important because this is media. You understand me? But and it is a school at the same time. But the school of being able to control the environment of your home.
Facts. What it's about.
Queen Afua talked about how the woman is a home.
Yeah.
You understand me? How you a home, but specifically that, you know, if you, let's say you got a woman, you know, and that's your baby, that's the one that you love.
It's my temple.
That's your temple.
It's my home.
You understand me?
Facts.
But let's say that she doesn't know how to properly, you know, make herself that sacred woman.
Yeah.
You understand me? Then she's not a home.
Facts.
You have a woman inside a home.
She's a broken home.
Yeah. And then that means that, you know, you with Bae, y'all inside your apartment or your house, but you homeless.
Yeah, you missing home.
Yeah. And so you have to, one of the things that we just looked at is like, you got to look at your partner and see if you're homeless or not.
Facts.
You understand?
Ooh, that's a high level conversation right there. So you shoot that?
Man, we shot Queen Afua. Well, I don't even know when this episode.
When y'all put that out, I need to watch that.
Out by time this episode drops.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's gonna be out by time this.
That sounds deep to the mud.
It was fire. It was fire. It's something that everybody pay attention to for real, for real.
But now, facts.
This episode is brought to you by Goldwater. But that's like the easy way. Like you meet a woman and she's not at home. Yeah, can't be with that.
No, I can't be in that. Yeah.
Like, but now it gives you like a guide to be like, damn, I meet her, but she ain't no home though. You understand me? She's not.
Educational purposes only, y'all. Don't write the copy on. Entertainment purposes only.
If you don't know how to feed herself, you don't know how to feed anybody else. She don't know how to control her emotions. Like, there's so many different things that can be off balance from a beautiful woman. And not to say she could be a good woman, she could be beautiful, she could be trying, but she could be so much in the world that she never becomes a home.
That's why education, man, is key, man.
Yeah.
And that's my brother. This Risen Black Messiah Alliance movement we've been pushing, man. And been,
I gotta rock in with the network.
I'm really trying to build with you, though, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I need to lock in with you, bro.
We here.
Like I said, I dived in on your comment. Like, you know what I'm saying? You most definitely you needed back at the crib, bro. It's time for you to come back home for the
I know, man. You know, St. Louis and Oakland, I got to do a lot for both. I specifically left away, build up the value, so when I come back, everything is respected.
You know, a prophet ain't respecting in his own home anyway.
You understand me? It's like, even when they think they know you from there, they feel like it's proximity.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, you have to consistently appreciate it as if it's foreign.
Yeah, fact.
You understand me? Like, distance makes people appreciate life more.
Yeah.
You feel me? When you too close to the light, you get blinded by it.
Facts.
You feel me? Like, you feel like it owes you something.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's necessary for everybody in your circle, period. You feel me? Like, you got to keep that distance, keep that circle closed. Especially when you on a mission.
Yeah.
And you on a mission that's going to open a lot of people, especially as, you know, you grow that platform. A lot of people going to want to attack you. A lot of people going to want to support you.
Oh, they doing it right now?
Yeah.
The government tried to kill me, 3 times, and they cut my brake lines, pulled me over, locked me up, feds following us all around. It started ripping up. Once we started healing them AIDS and making them millions, you know what I'm saying? They tried to get me on taxes. I'm like, come on, man, I paid. They was trying to do everything to shut me down, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And everything legit. We ain't running nothing illegal. We got righteous intent. We walk upright like righteous men. You know what I'm saying? I do believe in a God, but, you know, we out here healing. The healing is really, like, not none of that fake herbalist healing. Real healing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a very disruptive market. I mean, the pharmaceutical company, man.
Them the monsters, bro. They mobs.
Just cancer, I think colon cancer, diabetes, something else like $1.5 trillion in treatment.
On the paperwork, it's called the AIDS and cancer industry.
Yeah.
They straight made they done industrialized these diseases.
$1 trillion industry.
They done industrialized.
You got to think of the amount of money that people are spending to protect it.
Yeah.
Like $1 trillion industry. No, but I mean that's the reality of it though. Like that's just treating an aspect of diseases is $1.5 trillion, and that's, you know, the total spending power of the black community.
Facts.
You understand me? But we also at the top numbers of that, so a lot of that is being made off our bodies.
Yeah, facts.
You understand? You got to think about the trillions of dollars that's made off of disease.
Yeah. And then when you look into medicine and you study the chemical compositions, we love laboratories, man. Let's send it off to the laboratory, especially laboratory in Illinois. I love them. Got a real good relation. So we always looking at the chemical facts and things, man. Most of these medicines are straight melanin inhibitors, man. It's made to kill our blackness, man.
Yeah.
And it's petroleum oil in it. You know what I'm saying? How can it? And then before John D. Rockefeller, everything was botanical based. He came in, he like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And what he did was he created colleges and infrastructures, and he started paying them millions to actually disenfranchise anybody that was dealing with the botanical kingdom. It got so bad in the 1960s that if you was talking about natural healing, they straight come lock you up.
Yeah.
When he was really on his man, it's some documentaries out on that cat, man. This dude
diabolical,
to
man. Allow that to spread and to happen, even if it's on a small level, they coming at you quick. Because they got people that they pay just for that particular thing.
Yeah.
You understand me? Like, you know that now, even the process of, teaching people about vitamins or listing vitamins to sell, right? They're going to come after you quick.
Yeah, we just had to change our labels, man. Yeah. I had to change so I used to have something called amino acid therapy. I had to change it to geogenetic therapy because a doctor right here in LA tried to sue me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you because he trademarked the name. I don't want you using my name on botanicals if you don't have an allopathic MD and if you're not pushing medicine. I'm like, well, I am pushing medicine. Nah, you're pushing alternative medicine. Damn, when did plants become alternative? They was here before all our ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just the psychological games, man. And you can see that we're truly in an artificial environment. All of this stuff is fake, man.
But we're going to a world where people are only going to be trusting alternative medicines.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Like, during the times of the pandemic, man, it really pushed people to more holistic, therapeutic practices.
Facts.
Because look at all of the distrust that are now, seated against government and big pharma.
Yeah, it backfired.
Millions of people. So, like, in the future, people are going to really look towards plants and herbs. It's going to be, you're talking about a wave of people. I mean, we already going to, what's it called? The mushroom therapies. I forget what the name of it is. But that's what they're testing right now.
Yeah.
Because mushrooms are now utilized in psychotherapy.
You see what Florida just did with the mushrooms?
What they do?
They passing bills to actually get psychedelic mushrooms into psychotherapy. So they said, because they was talking about how the mycelium network, it reconnect dendrites and neural pathways in the brain. And they said they want to use it for psychotics and give it to people that's depressed and the changas and all the different cordyceps and the lion mane.
People really need to, for like people out there that got like a loved one that's got a mental illness, understanding like, your brain goes through a pruning process, when you're young. So you got all of these different wires in the brain. But then what you don't use, you lose. The brain like, I don't need all this network.
Facts.
That much.
Yeah.
So you start to lose it. But that process that actually starts to get rid of those, that pruning process, also is the same thing that happens when you're going through inflammation or different stress.
Amyloid protein.
So if sending too much over there, it starts to destroy the good.
Right.
You understand me? And that's what starts to destroy, those brain cells during that process. And now you can't think straight.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about earlier. Because like I said, that aspect of utilizing the mycelium network to regrow those dendrites or reconnecting a person to their personality and their normal way of thinking. You can show a person that lost their mind a picture of themselves, a video of themselves. It's nothing they can do to reconnect.
Yeah.
And even the average person, after the age of 25, your brain changes the way that it learns.
Facts.
So your neuroplasticity is not the same. So now you have to do different things in order to stimulate it, right? And so the average person don't know that you have to change the way you eat.
Facts.
You have to exercise. You have to have different social rhythms. But you're trying to learn the same way you did when you was younger, utilizing your old network, utilizing your old brain. So this is something that just as a human being, we don't understand. The manual of self.
Yeah, and I think we should really talk about consumption and elimination too. Anything that eats or anything that lives have to eat to yield energy. And by yielding that energy and processing that energy, there's a byproduct that comes from it. A lot of people call it feces, poop, defecation. So the same thing that happens, the body is made of 150 trillion cells. Each cell in your body is a miniature you, meaning the cells have something called an organelle. Yeah. And these organelles have, like, for instance, the mitochondria act as the metabolitic process of a cell. You have something called the cellular membrane, which acts as the brain of the cell. You have something called the nucleus, or what we call the new sun, that actually act as the gonads of the cell. You have something called the ribosome, that act as the womb or the vagina of the cell. So if I feed my body breaks down this food due to the hydrochloric acid into all these different phytonutrients. Once it goes into this little small intestinal tract, it's called the duodenum. And you have something called villi in there, where it's thousands of bifidobacteria, bacteria, lactobacillus bacteria that act in candida bacteria that takes all of this phytonutrients and bring it into the bloodstream. Once they get into the bloodstream, it feeds 150 trillion cells. So the cells eat this food. Well, if the cells eat, that means that they have to eliminate. What's happening is a lot of us always want to go after the gut, and saying that we're constipated, but we never talk about cellular constipation. And this cellular constipation, it actually coagulates and agglomerates the lymphatic system or vessels and lymph nodes in the gut, and it backs up. And that's why you see a lot of people nose always running, ears always plugged up, got boogers all in their nose, or they got all types of sleep in their eyes because they maxillary cavities, the sinus cavities have been blocked up and filled with mucus due to inflammation. Well, what happens is when you fill up the lymphatic system and the lymphatic system can no longer cleanse the body, you back it up glymphatically. Now the glymphatic system, which is the sewer system of the brain, don't work anymore. So all the byproducts produces something called amyloid protein. This amyloid protein is due to the pruning of the brain too. And man, the way, if you can study it under a microscope, this amyloid protein is very acidic because it's nitrogen based. Man, it eats away at the brain and it literally cuts off the dendrites. So I think we need to start getting into not only cleansing our gut like we always talking about, but cleansing these systems like the glymphatic system, which is the sewage system of the brain, just as well as we always talking about cleansing the lymphatic system, which is the sewage system to the cells of the body.
No, that's the key, and it leads me to transition about the brain, period, right? Because when we talk about dendrites, we're talking about the remyelination process,
yeah,
right?
Keys,
and
all right, man, I see you.
Yes, sir. You know I keep the keys, man. But that remyelination is key because a lot of people can't think and they don't know why they get stuck.
Facts.
Right, and that's literally your brain. Those two, that damn dendrites trying to connect and send electrical signal to each other.
Short circuit.
Right.
Short circuit.
But when it's not myelinated, you have to think of it like a cord that don't have a copper on there to send the signal from one end to the other. But you can regrow the myelination.
Facts.
Right. And that's what I want to talk about because what we lack a lot of times is focus.
Yeah.
You understand me? And when we give people a high level conversation and knowledge, they're like, well, man, listen, y'all may be operating at, 1,000 miles per hour, but, I got to go back and watch this 1,000 times because I'm not going to be able to move that fast. Your brain not going to be able to process. Your processing speeds are slow. You slow down. It's like, we're living in a 5G world, but there's a lot of people operating on 1G and 2G.
Straight 2G.
You understand me? And so that's what I want to catch people up to because, and this is where the lion's mane come into play. Lion's mane helps with that myelination of the brain. That mycelium network is super key. But I also want to talk about the different berries and different things that you can utilize in order to enhance the brain, so we got that supercomputer function.
Yes, goji berries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, palmetto berries. You have the berry king of chase berries, what they call vitex berries. These berries are very, very high in antioxidants and they're oxygenators. And that's what the brain needs to breathe and to get the melanin neurotransmitters and the dendrites connecting the left hemisphere with the right hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? You need oxygen to the brain. And that's why we got all these foods that's tainting our blood because the only way to bring oxygen to the brain is by way of iron phosphate going through the blood, cellular respiration. Oxygen, the berries help bring that oxygen to it. But you talking about that lion's mane. What product you got with the lion's mane in it?
We have the smart moss.
So that smart moss, and really bringing that lion's mane in will literally open up that brain, man. Like people knock fungus, man, and fungus is the shit. It really is. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you really, because we have to realize that the body is electric. I like to use the analogy of a car. You know what I'm saying? You have the battery in the car. The battery is literally the whole entire nervous system of the car. But notice the battery don't work when it's corroded with acids around the alkaline battery. Then you have the tools, or what we're going to call the electrical system of the car. Then you have to feed the car fuel, or what we call food. So if you feed, let's say we just got a diesel truck, put some unleaded gas in there and see if it start up. Because you gave it the wrong fuel or the wrong food. Put the right fuel in it, then it start up and it runs properly. Let's talk about the blood, which is the oil of the car. Don't get that oil change. See if it start up. or see how the blood or the oil start mixing in on the spark plugs and you don't get no connection because it's clumped. So what we have to look at, if we look, because we are projecting through these bodies, we're not in these bodies. This is a holographic stimulation. This is a whole type of universe. It's a simulation. So if we projecting through these vehicles, and this is the only way that we can experience reality here in this holographic simulation, then that means our vehicle needs to be tuned up and up to par. So if you look at our vehicles, or what we call avatars, is the same way we look at it as a car. You have to get your car tuned up. You have to keep the oil clean. You have to make sure you got the proper food in it, and you got to keep checking that battery post to make sure you're not building up corrosion, which is what all these cytotoxins do when they get in your body and your lymphatic system is not purging them out. It corrodes the blood. It corrodes the lymphatic system. Acids, it's only two sides of chemistry in existence. We're talking about base chemistry, or what we call alkaline, and we're talking about acids. That corrodes inside, that kills dendrites. That's the acidic side of nature. The pruning factor of the brain. That's the acidic side of nature. You know, you not being able to circulate blood to get your penis erected. That's the acidic side of nature. So the further we stay away from the acidic side of nature, we can allow our bodies to start draining all of that mucosa out, because there's nothing but stimulated mucosa from all these foreign things that we put in our body, and we won't be backed up interstitially like that. The best way to cleanse the brain and to bring oxygen to the brain is the berry kingdom and the fungal family, man. But we have to realize that every cell has to take a poop, because every cell in your body have to eat.
Yeah, excrete waste.
So where is the waste going to? And the sewage system of the body is the lymphatic system. The actual lymph nodes that's connected to the lymphatic system is called the septic tank. That's why if you look in the septic tank, notice there's nothing in there but the poop is constantly being decreased. What is eating the poop? It's full of bacteria. That's the reason why bacteria is good to the body. That's the microbes. We always think that bacteria is bad because we have this germ theory. We have the viral theories. All these damn theories that have never been proven. You know, viruses, your body creates viruses to heal itself. Your body culturalized bacteria because bacteria was created to eat acids. So if you see like women with vaginal problems and vaginal infections and fungus and mold and yeast coming from their vagina area, the worst thing that you can do as a woman is go get antibiotics. Anti means against, bio means life. So they giving them antibiotics to kill the bacteria when the bacteria is only there to eat the acids. So the bacteria is not the problem. The viruses that the body's producing is not the problem. And the viruses are produced by the cells, lysosomes, and exosomes. Look this stuff up. There's no such thing as a virus outside the body. All viruses start with inside the body by the own body microbe. Anything that's called a virus that was created outside the body is called a biological weapon. There's a total difference. But anyways, what I'm saying is, we have to start trusting the friends that make up our body. The body is made of 150 trillion cells. Only 50 trillion of them cells belong to us as humans. The 100 trillion cells belong to something called prokaryotic cells or prokaryotes. So we have a whole body made up of all this intelligence that's not even us. You see what I'm saying? So they got to eat. They need to poop. They need to pee. But where is their bathroom? Their bathroom is the lymphatic system. So we learn the lymphatic system, which is the sewage system of the body, and the glymphatic system, which is the sewage system of the brain, and we can start draining all of that excessive mucus buildup, getting rid of all of that erosion and all that crystallization and coagulation. Man, I'm telling you, we'll be able to flow properly, and we can get our brains working again.
No, that's 1,000%. Your brain definitely working. When back in the day, I used to have mental fog. I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
You understand me? I have brain fog. I drink coffee. You understand me? Caffeinated.
Caffeinated.
It's the worst thing I could have done. You understand?
Killing the kidney too.
That's what led me more so towards, wanting to find things like colloidals and minerals, and different things that I can utilize for my brain.
You like the colloidals?
I use colloidal silver sometimes when I'm traveling, right? Spraying in open orifices, you understand me, just to kill germs as I'm on my movement.
Okay, so you just
as I'm traveling internationally.
Now I say it's good, but I usually use that in my clinical trials. We use it like for stuff like that. We don't recommend you do it every day because it got sulfur. It got a lot of sulfur on the backbones. We do something called iridology where we read eyes. And what I notice with people that do the turpentine and the colloidal silver a lot, we notice that they got a lot of sulfur around the irises. But we do recommend you use it for travels and stuff like that. Just
based on this pure scientific effect. You understand me? And then just the utilization of the gold in the aspect of the electrical.
Now, that's what I was going to talk about. That colloidal gold, I be on that. That's what I be on.
Man.
Yeah.
So that's what first got me through the brain fog, though, because I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was cat. I'm like, but I'm reading the text of the Egyptian text on how they talking about how they utilize it. And they utilize it, of course, in the Ormus form. You understand me? From the white powder.
That's in
So
that
they
air
break it down through that process of electrolysis.
Facts.
And you know, they thought it was spooky because they felt like as they was breaking it down, it would disappear out the dimension and then come back.
Yeah.
You understand me? In the form of this powder. So, you know, gold being a superconductor of electricity in the body, already producing gold at 0.02%. You know, we need gold for anti-inflammation. And then scientists say just based on, you know, electrical signaling and being able to have electricity go throughout the body. But one of the things that people give us as a testimonial was more so like lucid dreaming, right? So, you know, a lot of people, they don't dream in color or they don't dream at all or they never had a lucid dream and they think that it's a myth, right? So it definitely enhances that. But what I realized throughout my studies is that when you go to sleep, you know, your brain secretes a fluid when you get into that deep sleep. You wash over the ridges of your brain through those toxins that you build up, those neurotoxins throughout the day, which is why a lot of people have that brain fog. You understand me? That you've been awake so much, right? Your brain starts to inflame. You got all these neurotoxins you can't do. You understand me? So you have to be able to get that deep sleep in order to wake up refreshed. If your brain never go through the processing to destroy everything or process all of the ideas, the thoughts, plus the food that you may be eating right before you go to sleep, then you never gonna wake up clear-headed.
Hey, hold on, it's a big moment right now. Y'all realize what King just broke down? He just broke down the purpose of sleeping. It's not only to astral travel, but physically it's to detoxify. And that's what the circadian rhythm is about, brother. I see you, bro. I see you be studying well. I see you, bro. Yeah, most definitely.
Yes, lucid dreaming. A lot of those people, or a lot of people around the world, just don't lucid dream. You understand? So when you ingest,
and that's the reason why we, you know, but we're addicted to radiation. You know, so addicted to radiation because we got melanin. Melanin is radioactive.
Yeah.
So anytime,
See that? He said we're addicted to radiation. That's the reason we put the AC on. That's the reason. You see, for me, I was a water guy. Yeah, like I had to turn the water on. Like if I got water in the background, I feel good. Like that's my radiation. The water. I gotta leave the water on. The water just gotta be, splashing. That's my radiation.
Yeah, but also we solar deficient.
Yeah.
So we don't get enough radiation at the same time.
So bringing me to this point, people can't go to sleep without cutting the TV off because they need radiation to soothe them. People can't go to sleep without cutting these ultraviolet lights off, all these synthetic lights, because they need radiation to soothe them. People can't go to sleep without listening to a fan because we so addicted to radiation because the melanin content of our body is already radioactive. So instead of getting that addiction from the sun, we get it from all this synthetic artificial environment. And that's the reason why we can't sleep.
You said something super key there when you talk about addiction at the same time.
So bringing me to this point, people can't go to sleep without cutting the TV off.
See, me, I used to have the water on. Like I need the water on for everything. You understand what I'm saying? The water, it's crazy. I get my best thoughts sometimes in the bathroom with the water on, and well,
Because they need radiation to soothe them. People can't go to sleep without cutting these ultraviolet lights off, all these synthetic lights, because they need radiation to soothe them. People can't go to sleep without listening to a fan because we so addicted to radiation because the melanin content of our body is already radioactive. So instead of getting that addiction from the sun, we get it from all this synthetic artificial environment. And that's the reason why we can't sleep.
You said something super key there when you talk about the ultraviolet radiation and stuff that we get from the blue light. Our bodies have a direct effect, of course. Everything emits violet. Everything emits radiation.
Everything.
Right? But it has an effect on your body and your bloodstream.
Yeah, facts.
You understand me? Because, the water in your body is connected to the radiation. You understand me? Being able to move. I talked about this with Billy Carson about the 4 phase of water.
Fact.
You understand me? And how
structured water.
Yeah, the structured water.
H3O.
But a lot of people don't even know that. But I had to think about that because I'm like, everything in your environment affects you.
Facts.
Everything. Like if we were able, the spectrum in which we can't see is the spectrum that affects us the most.
Facts.
Right? So there's an entire invisible world, which is why knowledge.
excellent conversations, high conversations, but That's my time right there. My next video that I'm doing, I'm gonna schedule it now, is on how Green Eye survived a Christmas with no money, oh, with $0, yeah. How I survived a Christmas with $0. Y'all gonna love that one. And then my other one is gonna be when the coffee fell. Y'all gonna love these stories. I'm gonna start setting them up now. Appreciate everybody that pulled up and showing that love and support. Peace and blessings. God bless.